if you think we might have on and off waves of inflation like we did prior to when Volcker stepped in at the Fed in the 70s era.
Of course it will happen some in the future. Yes, I think we'll have some of that in the future. And I think more inflation over the next 100 years is inevitable given the nature of democratic politics.
Hello and welcome to Financial Fortune, your go-to channel for all things related to finance, investments, and the economy. The investing strategies of Charlie Munger during the 2023 recession. Munger is one of the most successful investors of our time, and his insights into the market are invaluable for anyone looking to navigate the current economic climate. In 2023, as we are all well aware, the economy faces formidable obstacles, and the United States appears to be staring down the barrel of a sizable recession. Boom times are over as inflation has caused interest rates to rise and fewer people are saving money. While I haven't lived through a major economic downturn in my adult years, Berkshire Hathaway Vice Chairman Charlie Munger has. Although he was probably just a youngster at the time, he experienced the Great Depression, for recessions in the 1950s and 1960s, the dot-com bubble, and the oil crises of the 1970s and 1980s. Let's just say Charlie knows what he's doing when it comes to investing during downturns. Let's review everything you've said recently about the Daily Journal shareholders meeting in this video, along with some wise investment advice we can implement as value investors in times like these. Let's get Charlie's take on the current high interest rate environment brought on by the Fed's efforts to control inflation first.
Given the increasing rate environment, what are the ramifications of moving away from a close to zero interest rate policy? So what do you do now that the interest rate environment is changing?
Well, there's no question about the fact that as the interest rates have gone up, it's hostile to stock prices. But they should go up. We couldn't have kept them forever at zero. And I just think it's just one more damn thing to adapt to in investment life, is that there are headwinds and there are tailwinds, and one of the headwinds is inflation. And I think more inflation over the next 100 years is inevitable given the nature of democratic politics in a democracy. So I think we'll have more inflation. That's one of the reasons the Daily Journal owns securities instead of government bonds.
Charlie, Al Pitton writes in from Chicago and wants to know if you think we might have on and off waves of inflation like we did prior to when Volcker stepped in at the Fed in the 70s era.
Of course it will happen some in the future. Yes, I think we'll have some of that in the future.
Do you think we'll have it immediately, right now, with what Jay Powell's dealing with?
I don't regard myself. I think I'm pretty good at long-run expectations, but I don't think I'm good at short-term wobbles. I don't have the faintest idea what's going to happen short-term.
Okay. Did you start out having to work at delayed gratification, or is that just how you were born?
No, I learned this trick early. And, they've done that experiment with the 2 marshmallows with little kids.
Yeah.
How
long can you sit?
2 marshmallows if you wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've watch them how they work out in life by now. And the delayed the little kids who are good at diverting the marshmallows are also the people that succeed in life. It's kind of sad that so much is inborn, so to speak. But you can learn it to some extent too, so.
I'm gonna go home and test that out on my kids, see who does well.
I was very lucky. I just naturally took to deferred gratification very early in life, and of course it's helped me ever since.
What quality has helped you the most in life?
Well, that's easy. Rationality. If you're just not crazy, you have a big advantage over 95% of the people. Because most people have all kinds of crazy patches. And if you just are consistently not crazy, you get a big advantage in life. And if you're patient and a gratification deferrer, in addition to being not crazy, then it's practically a cinch.
Is it harder with success, age, wealth to hold on to rationality?
I think it's always hard, but you get better at it if you get good at it young and keep practicing. But it's never easy. You climb as hard as you can by just advancing 1 inch at a time. That's the secret of life. And now there's always somebody who's a little nuts and who succeeds. But for every guy who succeeds, there are 1,000 failures. Some of the things that surprised me the most was how much dies. The business world is very much like the physical world, where all the animals die in the course of improving all the species so they can live in niches and so forth. All the animals die and eventually all the species die. That's the system. And when I was young, I didn't realize that that same system applied to what happens in capitalism to all the businesses. They're all on their way to dying is the answer, so that other things can replace them and live. And it causes some remarkable deaths. Imagine having Kodak die. It was one of the great trademarks of the world. There was nobody that didn't use film. They dominated film. They knew more about the chemistry of film than anybody else on earth. And of course, the whole damn business went to zero. And look at Xerox was once owned the world. It's just a pale shrink. It's just nothing compared to what it once was. So practically everything dies. None of the eminence lasts forever.
When you're evaluating a company for potential investment, what do you place the most emphasis on, the business or the management? And do you differ with Warren when it comes to what you place first?
No, I don't. I think we're the same. I think we like the business great first. And then second, we want a great manager. But we have not made a huge success by investing in great managers who take over lousy businesses. That is not the way we rose.
And can a great business be run by a lousy manager? The inverse?
Sometimes CocaCola was run for years by a man with very severe mental impairment. And the directors just assumed he was drunk and let him stay there year after year. Now that's my idea of a wonderful business, that you can be mentally defective and run it pretty well. That was Coca-Cola in its heyday. If I had to name one factor that dominates human bad decisions, it would be what I call denial. If the truth is unpleasant enough, people their mind plays tricks on them and they think it isn't really happening. And of course that causes enormous destruction of business, where people go on throwing money into the way they used to do things, even though it isn't going to work at all well in the way the world is now, having changed.
I am interested in hearing from you as to which of Charlie Munger's investment lessons or quotes you find most inspiring. That's all for today's video on Financial Fortune. We hope you found this information useful and informative. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on the latest news and trends in the world of finance. Thanks for watching.